What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the debut album by singer T-Pain. Basically, this album is called Rappa Ternt Sanga, and it came out in the late fall of 2005. Now, this is a pretty hit album. I definitely feel like this is a classic R&B album from the 2000s decade. Definitely one of the more notable ones, and in some cases, I feel like this album outdoes Akon's Trouble from 2004. T-Pain was definitely one of the larger R&B stars of the 2000s, but he kind of burnt out after about 2009, 2010 or so, especially when Jay-Z put out like the song DOA, Death of Autotune, and that type of stuff. But T-Pain was pretty large throughout the mid-late 2000s. He did a lot of things right, and he just had a lot of hit songs, and everyone was kind of turning to him for like hooks between like about the mid-late 2000s as far as that kind of went. But I would have to say this is a pretty great album because it showcases T-Pain's just pro. This showcases T-Pain's pro showings of hooks and that type of stuff. He has the vocoder, also known as auto-tune, on here, but he does sing a few times without it, and it's pretty catchy either way. I feel like a lot of this, I remember reading somewhere, I don't remember wholesomely where, but T-Pain had, I remember reading somewhere, I don't remember where on the internet, but I remember T-Pain saying that he made most of this album with GarageBand off a laptop or a computer or something like that. So a lot of this is just kind of more internet savvy kind of beats as far as that kind of went, but this is just an excellent kind of debut, and this is out of Akon's fold, so this is he was the first cat to kind of be underneath Akon's label as he started to develop convict music and that type of stuff. But this is definitely pretty great. I'm glad that Akon's on here twice. It really helps benefit quite a bit. And this is just an overall kind of stellar project just that does a lot of things. It's pretty revolutionary for R&B at the time, just because for the most part, minus like Akon and maybe Nate Dogg and like a couple others, most R&B, this is just kind of a different pitch for like an R&B album. This has a different pitch, has a lot of contemporary stuff on here and a lot of good dancey, kind of bouncy bops on here that just work extremely well. So that's kind of the concept about it. Now, Wikipedia says that there's only 2 singles on this album, but I kind of feel like there was a third one. At least in 2006, they used to say that there was a third single to this. Like apparently the attempted third single was Studio Love, which had the remix of it, which Lil Wayne was on there. It wasn't full blown promoted, and I don't know if there was a music video for Studio Love, but I do think that that was at least attempted back in 2006 after I'm in Love with the Stripper came out. And that was kind of the concept because T-Pain wasn't really around. I mean, he was kind of around in 2006, but that was kind of like the entry year where people were starting to fuck with them in terms of hooks and that type of stuff. But I just would have to say, of course, T-Pain blew up in 2007 with his Epiphany album and the Buy You a Drink song and some of those type ones. But this is kind of early T-Pain. I just like the stuff that's on here. It's just very much like a classic R&B album, I would have to say. It's definitely one kind of know about some of the stuff when you think of like when you think of Trey Songs, when you think of Trey Songs, when you think of Akon, when you think of Nate Dogg, you should think of T-Pain and some other ones. Definitely some ones on here. There's some other ones like Genuine, of course, and Omarion and some of those type folks, B2K and some of them. I would definitely say Beyonce, some of them, but I would definitely say this is a classic R&B album. So we'll go ahead and talk about the singles. Basically, the first single is I'm Sprung, and this is kind of a lush pseudo ballad, and it's a nice lead single, I would say, and it's a good tied down song to kind of have, and it's just a memorable 2000s R&B. So this is definitely one has a very kind of great. This one has a very great syrupy hook on here. It's just an overall pretty much one of the more notable songs of the 2000s decade when it comes to R&B. This is just one that kind of has more popularity than it used to. It's just a very good tied down relationship Bay type song as far as that's kind of concerned. Just works in that sort of sense as far as just like low key kind of summer haze, that type of stuff. I mean, the thing about T-Pain on this album is he's kind of similar to Nate Dogg, where it's not just like a full blown, all of these are just croonings and like yearning for ladies and that type of stuff and just ladies bops as far as that's kind of concerned. A lot of this is there's some other stuff on here, like you'll find a smoking song, you'll find some dance club bops, you'll find some ruminating songs, you'll find like this overall good moments as far as how some of this, a lot of this kind of works. This is kind of a good concept, but this is very much just like a tied down kind of song and just kind of more summer haze, just kind of lazy kind of summer day, just very lush, just like the concept of this one. It's just an overall catchy one. It's a great hook and stuff like that, I would say. The second single is I'm in Love with the Stripper, and this one's a little bit more contemporary. This has Mike Jones on here, and that's a pretty good cameo from Mike Jones. Good look for Mike Jones to be on this song. I would say this is a very hooky, slow dance gem. I would say it's a southern fried bop, definitely, and it's just a nice, mellow evening cut. So this is definitely one great for the strip club. This has a very southern twang about it that just works extremely well. Just some very nice hazed out kind of malaise as far as that kind of goes. I really like the hook on this song. It's probably one of the best parts of the song. T-Pain really nailed this, and this is the concept as to why why. These two songs, I'm Sprung, and these two songs, I'm in Love with the Stripper and I'm Sprung, just really proved that a T-Pain hook in the late 2000s was very vital. And this is just an overall slow dance, this Southern Pride kind of gem that just works extremely well. Just a very nice one. Then the third single, I'm going to go ahead and list this as the third single. I kind of look after just kind of the pseudo one. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it had a music video, but this is definitely one that probably should have been the third single. I would have definitely attempted it a little bit further, but it's Studio Love. This is kind of like some stronger R&B passion of a gem, I would say. It's definitely similar to In Love with the Stripper, but it kind of has like that same kind of smoky, mellow, slow dance feel about it. So both of these are two great ones. I feel like Studio Love could almost be like another strip club song like In Love with the Stripper. I just would say they're both kind of good for that. They have that kind of southern twang about them. Both of these just kind of have that smoky, kind of mellow, southern fried type feeling about them and just work with a good sense of malaise as far as that's kind of concerned. Just day after hours kind of comfy, kind of atmospheric kind of ambience as far as those kind of go. This very hooky, this one. Like I said, this is a more passionate one. This is more passionate than the other two singles, but I definitely like the concept of getting these three singles because they just all work extremely well. So it's a good concept about it. But to talk about some of the songs I recommend on here, there's 20 songs on this album, and the edition that I'm reviewing has a song called Real Good Music as song number 19, and then there's a 20th song, which is basically the I'm Sprung remix, which has a cat named Dizzy Rascal on here. And basically, out of those 20 songs, I wound up recommending 15. So the concept about it now, two of these songs are interludes. So one is the Rappa Ternt Sanga intro, and then the other one is Have It interlude. So I would slash those two songs. There's really only 18 songs on here, and out of those 18, I wound up liking 15. So it's just easier to recommend this. So out of those 18 songs, I wound up recommending 15. And it's just easier to list the three songs out of the 18 I don't recommend. So those three songs I don't recommend would be Ridge Road, I'm Sprung 2, and then I'm Sprung remixed with Dizzy Rascal. So the thing about those three songs, both the new variations of I'm Sprung just don't capture the energy of the original I'm Sprung. I just feel like the original one is just so much better. I mean, both these ones with the rappers on there, I'm Sprung 2 has Trick Daddy and Youngbloods on there, which doesn't really enhance the song that much. And then the Dizzy Rascal version's about the same thing. It's not really that essential to kind of get those deluxe editions with those songs. It's not like they're horrible songs. It's just I'm Sprung just with some rap verses on there, but I just didn't really see the enhancement value of it that much. And I didn't really like Ridge Road that much because that one was just kind of a more, I mean, this was kind of a ruminating song, and I do like the ruminating songs that T-Pain does on here, but this is just a lot more homely of one that just didn't, kind of had like a Traverse type feel about it that just was not quite as captivating in the production. One of the few beats on here that just was not somehow thrilling, but other than that, this whole album is basically a classic. So yeah, this album's going to get a 10 out of 10. But now to talk about the songs. So I'm just going to burn through these, let's get a sense of it. Akon is on here twice, and these Akon songs are pretty excellent. You Got Me feels like an Akon song more so than a T-Pain song, I would say. It's a tropical dance cut, very similar to Bonanza by Akon. Just overall pretty catchy. Both these are pretty hooky and just overall nice ones. So if you like the song Bonanza by Akon, you just want a song like that that's kind of tropical, but has like T-Pain on there. This is a pretty good one for that sort of concept. Akon does sing a verse on here, so it's pretty dope to get that. And then You're Not the Same as another Akon song. This one feels more like a T-Pain song, but it's a pretty nice one. This is a solid mid-tempo kind of dance club gem, I would say. It's got great melodies and a bouncy hook, I would definitely say, and it's a good Akon cameo. So both of these, just recommend them if you like Akon, and you should like T-Pain if you like Akon. This is definitely some good concepts on here, and You're Not the Same has a great, pretty beautiful hook on here. Both these, like so many hooks on here, are just very catchy. Some of the catchiest stuff out of 2000s R&B as far as I would say about that. So these are just excellent ones. Let's Get It On is a rousy evening R&B jive of a song. I would say it's a good contemporary 2000s R&B song, and it's a solid hangout. It's a solid hangout gem with some good haziness. So this is just one with a lot of bounce towards it. It's just a real nice kind of hangout after hours type song to kind of have. There's some definite good ones on here like that. Like I would say Blow Your Mind in My Place, or some other ones. Dance Floor is a pretty good one like that also. So these are just some good ones. Como Stas is a nice kind of evening haze of a song. This is an out and about kind of game laid down kind of cut. I would definitely say it's got some evening bristle and social bounce towards it, and it could have been a single. This is definitely another one that I would have chosen. There's a lot of songs. This album's just chock full of songs that could have probably been singles. Como Stas, Let's Get It On. I feel like I would have definitely chosen one of the Akon songs. Some of these other ones, there's just some great moments on here. Dance Floor, some good moments for that sort of concept. But Como Stas is just kind of has like that evening kind of Latino type feel about it, just in that evening haze, something that like a Latino kind of R&B artist, something that like an R&B Latino artist would have done. Just really some evening haze that just works extremely well. Fly Away is a nice ruminating cut. This is a getting ready to step out gem, I would say, and it's a song that gives excitement and works as like a solid ruminating R&B cut. So this is just a good example of that. This one just really gave me some thrilling kind of energy. It's just kind of one for getting excited a bit. And it's just kind of, it's like I said, it's a ruminating song. It just has like, it's a ruminating song, but it kind of has some high mid-tempo kind of bounce about it. So it's just kind of a peppier one that just really works as like an exhilarating type feel as far as wanting to just step out a little bit. So these are some good ones. Another one similar to that is Going Through a Lot. This is Going Through a Lot is a feeling lost kind of song, I would say. It's just some solid ruminating and it has character, definitely has some character on here, and it's abstract, but it's good. So this is kind of a concept where these are not just R&B croonings for the ladies and just dance floor bops and those type salacious type attitudes for the most part. This is just an example of one of just saying I have some problems, got some things going on, there's stuff on my plate as far as that's kind of concerned. Good bop for kind of this social kind of commentary as far as just like R&B type tunes, but it works pretty well. Bone Crusher is on here, and that definitely enhances the song as well. It's a good concept. Definitely like some of these R&B type tunes. Say It is a really good one. This is a crisp night crawling gem, I would say. It's a stylish bop that has a good hook and melodies definitely on there, and it's just an overall good album cut. So this is just kind of one. Say It is just a great one for after hours and night crawling as far as that's kind of concerned. Just some good malaise just for like summer evenings, that type of stuff as far as that kind of goes. Just a good concept and just overall probably one of the crisper songs on this album. It's just nailed extremely well with some great melodies. Then I'm High is a very excellent one. This is a fantastic smoking song. This has Styles P on here, so I think Akon probably hooked T-Pain up with Styles P. It's definite concept to kind of get him on here. Fantastic smoking song with like a hazy feel about it. And this has a very brilliant and excellent hook on here. Good hangout track for some smoke sessions. Probably one of the it's about the only song on here for smoke sessions, but it just works as extremely well. T-Pain does a great job. Just because Akon doesn't really smoke. That's one thing you'll notice about Akon is when you listen to his albums, he admits on songs like Bartender that he doesn't smoke or drink, but T-Pain does. And it's a good concept to kind of get this. This is a great song for some R&B smoke sessions out of the 2000s. Blow Your Mind is kind of a soft-spoken R&B hangout gem. I would say it's smoky and well-composed, definitely, and it's just got a great contemporary hook on there. So this is another great one like Dance Floor and Let's Get It On and some of those type ones, even Como Estas and You Got Me and You're Not the Same, some of those type ones. This definitely works extremely well. And My Place is another one similar to some of these more sultry kind of after hours smoky type tunes. I would say My Place is kind of a lazy after hours gem with like some good typical malaise about it. It's a good example of like down tempo and sluggish R&B, I would say. So that's the thing. I mean, T-Pain can get down tempo on here. He doesn't do it wholesomely, but there are some ones like My Place that just kind of have some of that pep about it that just work pretty well, or just lack of pep that are just kind of more sluggish but still work pretty well. I mean, really, I'm Sprung is not necessarily like a peppy kind of up tempo song, but it just works as like a good kind of fluttery, kind of sluggish mid tempo kind of song. But My Place and I'm Sprung are two great ones for more. I'm Sprung and My Place are just great for some day after hours type fare as far as that kind of goes. And then Dance Floor is a really good one. Dance Floor is like a peppy dance bop with a bunch of jovial bounce about it. I definitely like this song. The song's energy is very infectious on here. So this is just kind of one where you want to go to the dance floor and just shake your ass in the dance club and that type of stuff and just have a great time. It's a good concept to kind of get a dance floor song like this. It just works extremely well. It's very hooky and melodic. Definitely like that one. Real Good Music is a solid night venue slash pub after hours gem. I would say it's soft spoken, wind down tunes for some good times. I would definitely say so. This is kind of one, or it could be like 1:30, 2:30 in the morning at something like that. Just kind of a little bit drunken, a little bit drunken, a little bit forlorn. Just that after hours haze as far as that kind of goes. Just within that context of just some good wind down music. Just very smoky and just kind of atmospheric and ambient. I would say it's a good example of another T-Pain cut that was on here. So I definitely like that one. But yeah, I just would have to say I'm going to give this album a 10 out of 10. I'm going to give the social score a 10 out of 10 also just because there's so many excellent songs on here. Some dance floor songs, some smoking songs, some hangout songs, some after hours songs, some stuff like that. About the only real variation of something that this album is really missing is just like some blue collar and kind of more makeshift kind of tunes. But apart from that, this is pretty much like your loud pack, the standard fare, just as far as that kind of goes. Just a good assist that just kind of helps out with things and just kind of makes life easier and more fun overall. So it's just good concepts as far as getting that. this would have to say. So 10 Social. In terms of the future, like T-Pain put out, in terms of the future, T-Pain put out like a covers album in like the late winter, early spring of 2023. So I do eventually want to check that out. So there's some good stuff here. There's definitely some more T-Pain stuff I'm going to get to, but this is an overall classic R&B album, and definitely one of the best R&B albums of the 2000s and maybe ever. I just would say it's really that damn good as far as that kind of goes.